Welcome to the Brownwood Lions Coaches Show here on KOXE. I'm Derek Stuckley, along with Brownwood Lions head football coach and athletic director Sammy Burnett, and his special guest today. How are you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well, Derek. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Good, because no one wants to hear it.
That's true. Not a single person.
That's right, so on with the show.
On with the show. So we're less than a week before the start of two-a-days. So how are you feeling about things?
Our strength conditioning is going well. It's funny, I was texting with Kay Parrish, which used to be Kay West, and her father, and when Coach Wood was here, and Coach Wood always talked about the four things that you need to be a champion. That's coaches believing in coaches and coaches believing in players. That's already taken care of. And then players believing in players and players believing in coaches. And it took those four things to be successful if you want to be a championship team. That was always his speech, and that's what he believed in. And it didn't matter how talented you were, if you didn't believe in those four things, it wasn't going to happen. So I was just texting her back and forth about some things, and we started talking about that, so it's funny. But I see that in our kids, the excitement when we finish a set of whatever lift we're doing, when we finish a section of that lift and they get ready to move to the next station, the way that they're excited about breaking it out, and they just have fun and find joy in it and find joy in hanging out with each other. And I spoke to them about, all the things that we deal with away from football, whether everybody's home life is different. We're different ethnicities. We're just a melting pot of just our community, and we may not hang out together all the time, and this may be my best friend, he may not be, but when we're in there and when we're out there on the field, we're a unit, we're a family, we love each other, and that's where those relationships that are built, that last forever. And I see that happening. So man, I'm really excited about their excitement. That to make a short story long, I'm really excited about their attitudes and their happiness to be together and to be out there and to watch them just work through the grind that for 4 years we preached. They just embrace it, know it's what they do, and they just work through it.
All right. Now, when y'all hit the field Monday, is there anything specific you're looking for, anything specific you want to see?
Number one, when we don't have pads on, what I want to see is their attention to detail. Are they willing to be coached? Are they listening to their coach? Are they trying to apply what they're being taught? The sense of urgency, the importance of knowing as much as you can possibly know so that you can be the best that you can be. That's the goal. When we put on the pads and we do our little maroon and white scrimmage on Saturday, the one thing I want to see is I want to see them be physical, and I want to see them get upset if something doesn't go their way. I want to see some passion in what they're doing, so those are the two things that I'll be looking for, pads and without pads.
Okay. You want to go over the practice schedule in case anybody wants to come out
Sure.
and check it out?
It varies a little bit from day to day based on what we have going on with the school district, but this week we'll start our practices in the morning about 7:30. We'll arrive as coaching staff anywhere from 6 to 6:30. The kids will arrive at 7. We'll get everything ready to go, and usually we'll be on the field about 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Usually the 3-hour practice, we'll have sessions of offense and sessions of defense to start this week. We won't have any special teams games. We'll make sure we have plenty of breaks in there for our kids, and starting to make sure that whatever we installed in the summer, whatever we installed in 7-on-7, our kids understand, and then we start putting it together in more of a team concept and working on that, whether it's against each other, just button up, or putting your hands on them or whatever. But it's really working on scheme the first week, and then of course we'll add the physicality to it, on Saturday.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking about it. You want to mention season tickets? Those are underway now.
Yeah, season tickets are going on their way. Lisa's busy all day long. It's 8 to 12:30 and 1:30 to 4:30. Monday through Thursday, but there's been a lot of interest, people not being able to get away or whatever, so they're talking about Friday. So Lisa's extended that to Friday from 8 to noon. So ticket sales again will be Monday through Thursday. It'll be 8 to 12:30, 1:30 to 4:30, and then on Friday Lisa is opening up from 8 to 12. So current season ticket holders can get those tickets now. If you're not a current season ticket holder and you want to get season tickets, those will become available. I think that's Tuesday, August the 2nd, and at the same time. So get those tickets. They're going fast. A lot of excitement and good reason to be excited.
Mm-hmm. Of course, along with football, volleyball, cross country, fall tennis all start Monday. So
yeah, I think their first matches are going to start winding up about the 9th. I think volleyball has a dual match with, I think, Wall and somebody else.
Yeah, they don't waste any time.
They don't, man. They get right into it. So they do have their first scrimmages or whatever early. I know the cross country team is going to Lubbock, I think, early, and they're going to do some overnight run where they're staying a couple of days and doing some running. So tennis, I saw Coach Blasik yesterday. She's fired up and ready to go. Maybe have a couple of kids that used to play for us that had to move away for circumstance and now come back. So she's hoping to get those kids back. So things are firing up and we're ready to go.
All right. Well, do you want to talk about your guest who's a familiar face?
No, not really.
Not
but
really?
I guess since we brought him, we better.
Yeah, you brought him. You got to do something with him now.
Yeah, Marvin Wilson. I mean, a lot of people know Marvin. A lot of people know Coach Wilson. His father's name is Rick Wilson, but he was my coach, and I don't call him that. It's Coach Wilson to me. Comes from a great family, great mother, great father. Sister's a lot prettier than he is. Had opportunity. We talked to him during the FCA All-Star Week when I coached the blue team. He was a coach for the red team. And we got to visit, talk to his sons, has 2 boys, and we just talked about Brownwood and things like that. And Marvin's always been in the back of my mind. Had an opportunity to have a spot open earlier in the year, and I offered that to Marvin and told him, let's get together and talk about it. It wasn't the right fit, and I knew it wasn't, but I know the caliber of person he is, and I know his family well, and he's a Brownwood guy, and played here at Brownwood, and I knew it wasn't the right fit, but I threw the bait out there anyway. Well, then the opportunity came when Coach Mauser had left, and I called Marvin, and he already had like 3 or 4. Actually, he was coming from an interview and had a couple more set up. So I said, well, put us in the front, and he did, and it worked out for us. But Marvin's our defensive coordinator. He's in charge of the defensive line. I mean, our kids, one of the things that I learned about Marvin when I talked to people was how much the kids loved him and how he related with the kids, and that's exactly what we need. I mean, those kids need people that they love, and they'll run through a wall for, and that's the biggest thing that I got from Coach Wilson, and knowing that he has the knowledge, but how does he work with kids? What's his demeanor like? And I thought that's a great fit, and it is going to be a great fit. But he's our defense coordinator, and he's our D-line coach, Marvin Wilson.
Well, welcome
Hello.
back, first of all.
Thank you very much.
So, kind of talk about the decision to come back to Brownwood. What was behind that?
When he called the second time, it was easy. It was easy. I think a lot of it has to do with, excuse me, growing up in Brownwood, knowing Brownwood. My kids have heard enough stories between my dad and I that it was, I don't want to say it was time to give them the opportunity to make their own stories.
Okay. Just kind of talk about your coaching history, where all you've been leading up to here.
Leading up, okay. I started at Odessa Primary with Coach Allman, who was here when I played. Coach Freeman called and got us back here. Then Coach Wolf, who was here, took his first AD job, and we went, and I was his defense coordinator in Anson for a couple of years. He decided to go to Bastrop, and it just wasn't right for me and my family. Coach Howard, who was here, was in Brady, and he needed defense coordinator. So we went to Brady, spent 3 years in Brady, and Coach Lipsy, who was in Baines for a good long while, had come over to Brady. And then he was headed to Ballinger, and he said, we're going to Ballinger. So we went with him to Ballinger for 5. And then Coach called this year, and we decided we hadn't packed the house in a while. It's time to do it again, and here we are.
Okay. Of course, going to be defensive coordinator, defensive line coach. I guess, how would you describe your coaching style?
I want to say I get intense with them, but we have a good time. If you're not having fun, you're not enjoying what you're doing, you're not ever going to get good at it. And so we'll be serious for most of it, and we'll cut up for a little bit of it. We're going to learn it. We're going to get aggressive. We're going to get physical. And we're just going to play hard. Play hard.
Okay. Of course, you haven't been back that long, but from what you've seen so far, just kind of the expectations you have for the defense this year.
Play hard. Play hard. Hang on to your assignments. Be right. And play hard, and the rest of it tends to take care of itself.
Okay. You want to tell everybody about your family?
My wife, we've been, I'm trying to think, I'm going to screw this up and get in trouble, 17, 18 years.
A while.
Been married.
Yeah.
We've got 2 boys. Ben will be a freshman, and then my youngest, Caden, will be a 7th grader.
Okay.
So we're excited for them. We're excited for them.
So you need to stick around at least 6 years.
At least, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
there you go.
At least.
All right. Anything you want to add, Coach?
No, but it's neat to listen to his story and his path. It's what a tangled web we weave when you look at where he's been and what's happened.
Yeah.
Marvin's father coached me, like I said, and then had an opportunity to go with one of his best friends to Sulphur Springs. If not for that's the only reason Marvin didn't graduate from Brownwood. But's been at Brownwood, and it's in him, it's who he is, and that's where he's come from. And even though the last year and a half he had to spend somewhere else, it wasn't his choice. He's still born and raised at Brownwood Lions, so it's nice to have another one of those back, because you got to understand, in talking to his father and the history that his father has. There's not a guy that I know that's my age or even close to my age, 5 years above or below, that doesn't talk about Coach Wilson. Whether it's the stories of him busting their britches with the paddle or just another story. But I was real close to Coach Wilson, and he just has a lot of Brownwood in him. And if we want to get Brownwood back to where it was at the time when it was great, you got to have people there that understand what it took to get it there. And it's not always, you can't do anything about the athletic pool. You can't do anything about what kids are coming through the pipeline. But what you can do is be consistent while they're coming through the pipeline, and how you try to form them into be the best athlete they can be, period. And that's what our focus is. And the more Brownwood people we have here with us that understand what it was like and what it takes, the better off our programs are going to be. So having Marvin back is definitely a blessing for us, and just looking forward to the future and working together and seeing our kids grow in the D-line.
All right. Is there anything else you want to mention? Anything you want to add? Is that all-star?
Yep.
I think,
Unless you want to talk about some NASCAR.
No, we're not talking about NASCAR right now, Star. We got another week to brew over that and see what happens the next week. But no, always, of course, we got to make sure we thank those that make this show possible. Auto Glass Magic, Burner Auto Group, Syntex Body and Paint, Citizens National Bank, let me do that again. Syntex Body and Paint, Syntex Equipment Sales, Citizens National Bank, Dan Hill Containers, Dr. Bon Young, Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, Edward Jones Investment, Hendrick Medical, Howard Enterprises, Humphrey Pete's, Landmark Live, MC Bank, Painter Johnson Associates, Smith & Sharp Agency, Sonic Drive-In, Stanley Chrysler, Texas Bank, Weldon Wilson Electric, Western Bank, and Willie's Tees.
All right. Well, that'll wrap up this edition of the Coaches Show here on KOXE, and we'll be back Monday.
What's the date on Monday? Have a great day, Brownwood.
August 1st.
There you go. Good
I know that one.